The 15 Most Disgusting Foods Eaten Worldwide, Part 1. If you are brand new to our channel, we invite you to take a moment to subscribe. Just click on the lit red button as well as the gray bell. Why the bell? Well, it will let you know every time we post a new video. 1. Yin Yang Fish. This dish has to take the prize for being the most disgusting, as well as the most cruel. To create it, chefs take a fish and deep fry it. Only the body is cooked, with the head remaining free of the oil. It is then served with the head still on. Oh, and there's one thing we didn't mention yet during this whole process. The fish is still alive. It is plucked from water and placed directly in the oil, and will remain alive for several minutes as it is served. Diners can watch the fish gasping for air in terrible pain before they start to pull it apart with their chopsticks. It's considered a great symbol of how fresh the fish is. You absolutely couldn't get it any fresher than that. It's also normal for diners to poke its face and eyes with chopsticks if it isn't moving enough to amuse them. The meal here is so disturbing that the closest thing to it is a picture of Bear Grylls eating a raw fish, and even that is less disgusting than the meal mentioned. 2. Thandie Newton. Thandie Newton, the beautiful actress in Mission Impossible 2 and Crash, claims to have been abused a couple of times in her career during a casting couch situation. The first came as a 16-year-old, when she was first beginning her career, and then again at age 18. Regarding the second occurrence, Newton explains, it was a screen test. There were 2 other people in the room, the director and the casting director, who was a woman. The director asked me to sit with my legs apart. The camera was positioned where it could see up my skirt, to put my leg over the arm of a chair. Though she was confused how any of this was relevant to the audition, Newton followed the instructions. Later, she learned that the video that was made was being shown around to other sickos in the industry. 3. Drunken Shrimp. Here's the start to a joke. A shrimp walks into a bar and gets drunk. Then someone eats it. Oh sorry, that's not a joke. That's a description of drunken shrimp. This delicacy involves placing the live shrimp into a strong liquor called Marzu. This allows them to stay alive, but also intoxicates them, much as it would a human. In order to enjoy them to the fullest extent, you first have to bite the head off the shrimp. You then eat the rest of the body. The great thing about this dish is that eating live shrimp also comes with a risk of paragonimiasis. What is that, you ask? It's a parasitic infection in your lungs, where the eggs hatch into worms that live there for up to 20 years. They take up to 90 days to hatch properly too, so you wouldn't know anything was wrong for a long time. 4. Casu Marzu. This food is from Sardinia in Italy, and on the surface at least, is conservatively described as a cheese. It is made from sheep's milk, but the real twist in the flavor is the live insect larvae included in it. Supposedly they make it taste even better. However, they also tend to jump around when they feel threatened, which is what they will definitely feel when you try to eat them. Just watch out for them going for your face. Basically, you can either eat them live, or if you are feeling less cruel, suffocate them first. You could also kill them by putting the cheese into the fridge for a while. Of course, you will still be eating maggots, whether they are alive or not. By the way, the living ones do have a habit of surviving the journey through your stomach once in a while. If they do, they will burrow into your intestines. That's a hell of a way to get a self-inflicted infestation. 5. Scirocco. If you fancy eating dragon in the flame of desire, then Scirocco might also be something you enjoy. This time, we turn to the cod to harvest its reproductive organs. When it is carved up, they make sure to remove and carefully preserve the sperm sacs. These are then served up either steamed or deep-fried, often with sushi. They are allegedly soft and creamy in taste. There are so many sperm jokes that we could make here, but we're going to stay away. It is considered to be a bit of an acquired taste, especially thanks to the odd texture that it carries. Fun fact, Scirocco is Japanese for little children. I'm sure that piece of information will make the dish all the more palatable for you. It's mostly in season in the winter, and has other names too, such as kiku or tachi, which you can look out for. 6. Ballot. Nothing about ballot looks or sounds appealing at all. This food is prepared by taking an egg which has been fertilized by a duck. As the embryo inside starts to develop, the egg is then boiled. This allows the little duck to die before even taking a breath. It sounds awful, and it doesn't look much better. There's something inherently unappetizing about the corpse of a baby duck. Still, it is actually a common street food in the Philippines. Don't be surprised to see it being served at food stalls alongside beer if you head out there. Some other Southeast Asian countries also consider this a great food. You eat the embryo right out of the shell, and it's possible to pull it out and see all of the tiny features of this duck that never was. It will even have tiny pre-wings and clawed feet by the time that you get to eat it. 7. Century egg. It's also called a millennium egg, a 100-year egg, and so on and so forth. The truth is, the egg isn't really as old as the name makes it seem. That's just a little romanticism to make it seem more appealing and elite. Actually, it is only a few months old. Of course, that's still enough time for it to be fully rotten. The eggs are preserved in ash, clay, and quicklime until they are ready to serve. At this point, they have a dark green or black yolk with a slimy texture. The white, meanwhile, becomes a brown translucent jelly. The smell has been described as a mixture of sulfur and ammonia. Brave people who have tried it explain that it tastes like a hard-boiled egg, so long as you don't breathe in. Which rather begs the question of why you wouldn't just eat a hard-boiled egg instead of this monstrosity. 8. Dragon in the Flame of Desire. It sounds really exciting, doesn't it? A dragon. But what's that flame of desire bit all about? I mean, when you start to look at the word choice, it can only point to one thing, and that's exactly what it does point to. If you order this dish, you will indeed be eating a penis. Disappointingly, they didn't even manage to track down a real dragon. The member in question actually comes from a yak, which seems to be about as far from a dragon as you could get. The Gulis Huang restaurant in Beijing serves it up roasted and displayed on a large platter with an elaborate plating. It's their signature dish, and I don't know why anyone would ever go there with that knowledge. When something is a bush tucker challenge on I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here, you know it's not something that you should be consuming in a restaurant.